Have you ever wondered how Warren Buffett determines the intrinsic value of a business? While Buffett rarely shares the specific framework and process he employs, he does share invaluable insights about valuation in his annual letters to shareholders over the years. Let's embark on a journey together to uncover the priceless clues he provides and gain a deeper understanding of his valuation philosophy. In his 1989 letter to shareholders, Buffett emphasizes the significance of intrinsic value and how it can be reflected through the discounting of cash flows. He states, "What counts, however, is intrinsic value, the figure indicating what all of our constituent businesses are rationally worth. With perfect foresight, this number can be calculated by taking all future cash flows of a business, in and out, and discounting them at prevailing interest rates. So valued, all businesses, from manufacturers of buggy whips to operators of cellular phones, become economic equals." In his 1990 letter, Buffett acknowledges the estimation aspect of intrinsic value, stating, "Berkshire's intrinsic value continues to exceed book value by a substantial margin. We can't tell you the exact differential because intrinsic value is necessarily an estimate. Charlie and I might, in fact, differ by 10% in our appraisals." In the 1991 letter, there is a simple calculation that gives us a glimpse into how Buffett roughly estimates valuations. A few years ago, the conventional wisdom held that a newspaper, television, or magazine property would forever increase its earnings at 6% or so annually, and would do so without the employment of additional capital, for the reason that depreciation charges would roughly match capital expenditures and working capital requirements would be minor. Therefore, reported earnings, before amortization of intangibles, were also freely distributable earnings, which meant that ownership of a media property could be construed as akin to owning a perpetual annuity set to grow at 6% a year. Say next that a discount rate of 10% was used to determine the present value of that earnings stream. One could then calculate that it was appropriate to pay a whopping $25 million for a property with current after-tax earnings of $1 million. Let's express this calculation using the growing free cash flow perpetuity formula. Assumptions: growth rate G equals 6%, discount rate R equals 10%. The discount rate is the cost of capital, typically based on the long-term U.S. Treasury bond rate. You can also set your own discount rate threshold. In this example, the assumption is 10%. After-tax earning equals 1 million. Intrinsic value equals after-tax earning divided by R minus G equals 1 million divided by 10% minus 6% equals 25 million. In addition, Buffett states, "Now change the assumption and posit that the $1 million represents normal earning power, and that earnings will bob around this figure cyclically. A bob-around pattern is indeed the lot of most businesses, whose income stream grows only if their owners are willing to commit more capital, usually in the form of retained earnings. Under our revised assumption, $1 million of earnings, discounted by the same 10%, translates to a $10 million valuation." Let's discount the cash flows once again using this formula. Assumptions: discount rate. R equals 10%, after-tax earning equals 1 million, intrinsic value equals after-tax earning divided by R equals 1 million, divided by 10% equals 10 million. The valuation of $10 million obtained this time is significantly lower than the previous valuation of $25 million. The $25 million valuation was based on the assumption that such properties would experience a consistent 6% annual earnings growth without the need for additional capital. However, when considering the cyclicality of earnings and the impact of capital commitment on income streams, the valuation can only be justified at $10 million. In the 1992 letter, Buffett discusses two key aspects of his valuation approach. Though the mathematical calculations required to evaluate equities are not difficult, an analyst, even one who is experienced and intelligent, can easily go wrong in estimating future coupons. At Berkshire, we attempt to deal with this problem in two ways. First, we try to stick to businesses we believe we understand. That means they must be relatively simple and stable in character. If a business is complex or subject to constant change, we're not smart enough to predict future cash flows. Incidentally, that shortcoming doesn't bother us. What counts for most people in investing is not how much they know, but rather how realistically they define what they don't know. An investor needs to do very few things right, as long as he or she avoids big mistakes. Second, and equally important, we insist on a margin of safety in our purchase price. If we calculate the value of a common stock to be only slightly higher than its price, we're not interested in buying. We believe this margin of safety principle, so strongly emphasized by Ben Graham, to be the cornerstone of investment success. In conclusion, by emphasizing the significance of intrinsic value and discounting cash flows, Buffett highlights the importance of understanding the true worth of a business. He acknowledges the estimation aspect of intrinsic value and the need for a margin of safety in purchase price. Furthermore, Buffett's approach prioritizes simplicity, stability, and a realistic understanding of one's limitations in predicting future cash flows. By following these principles, Buffett has achieved remarkable success in the investment world. By studying and applying his insights, we can gain valuable perspectives and improve our ability to assess the worth of businesses. Join us in our next video as we continue our exploration into the world of investing. Thank you for watching.